Here's the number one mistake I see new land investors make. Now, this video is really for folks that are like 24 months or less into land. And ultimately inside of Leah, that's the demographic that we work with. If you want to join Leah, go to landinvestor.co/apply. Come hop on a strategy call with us. Come see the sauce, which is Leah. Anyways, through this process of working with folks inside of Leah, I've learned a lot. It's been a really interesting experiment. And it's really a fortunate position that I get to be in to see the back end of hundreds of people's businesses. And I see a really interesting phenomenon on two sides. I see two different ways of handling this. You see, there's the first person that comes in that's a little more conservative. They join Leah. Most people inside of Leah either have a high-paying W-2 or they're running their business. They join Leah and they're conservative. Right? They're not looking to throw a Hail Mary. This is a long-term game for them. They're going to keep their job or keep their business for the time being, and they're going to build this up in the background. Yes, for the time being, this will be a part-time endeavor. And that's okay. They know it has to be part-time to become full-time. On the other side of the spectrum, I see folks that come in and they're looking to throw that Hail Mary. They're looking to burn the boats. And burning the boats has been something that has been glorified in this little entrepreneurial domain. But I actually have a real bone to pick with this. Yes, I think energetically we want to burn the boats. Yes, energetically we want to go all in and plant our flag on something. But financially, I don't think we should burn the boat. I don't think you should burn the boats until cash flow in your business tells you it's time to leave. Until the cash flow in your business says the opportunity cost here is too high. You see, the problem is if you are looking to survive off of a new business, one of two things will happen. One, you're going to suck the business dry of its growth because you're going to deprive it of cash flow, which is ultimately the oxygen of a business. Or two, there's going to be so much fear in your decision making that you're going to make really, really, really bad decisions in your business. Decisions that will come back to haunt you because you are looking for a quick win, and quick wins almost never pan out. So if you are fortunate enough to have a way to keep your head afloat, either a business or a job currently, I don't care how you feel about it. Okay. Let's put your feelings aside here. The best thing that you can do is to not give up on that yet. Okay. That means that you are going to go through a season for 2 years, at least 2 years of juggling multiple balls. You're going to be juggling land. You're going to be juggling your job or your other business, your family, all the other things that come with it. Will it be hard? Yes. Do I have sympathy for you? Not really. I've been through it. Many other people have been through it. It might mean staying up late, waking up early, working 7 days a week, not taking a vacation. Although I still think you should take a vacation. In full fairness, I think a break is good. Then we all do deserve some form of a break. So maybe I'll remove that part. You want to ensure that this business has the room that it needs to grow. You know, the analogy would be like having a toddler and telling that the toddler needs to go and get a job to start supporting the family or to start carrying their weight. Your business is in essence a child. It's a toddler. To require that that toddler somehow is going to provide for the rest of the family is a ridiculous notion. Now, land is an interesting business model because you can spin it up really quick, right? You're not trying to solve a new novel problem. You're not servicing customers or trying to really find customers even. The marketing channels already exist. The playbook already exists. So yes, you can get traction early and that's exciting. And we see folks that do really well, right? Folks that throw up hundreds of thousands of dollars in their first year, and that's amazing. But even in that situation, I would still say, look at one of two things needs to happen. A, either you keep your job and you don't deprive the business of its cash flow and you keep on reinvesting until it becomes glaringly obvious that it's time to leave. Or B, you pull back your lifestyle and you do live off the business, but you take a very small salary or very small dividends. Now, is that sexy? No. Is that a great way for me to sell you on why you should get into land? No, but it's my moral responsibility to tell you how it is. One of the things that's interesting is that as Leah has grown, of course, we reach a wider audience. I'm super grateful for that. I'm grateful for everyone that's put their trust in me. It's something that I take very, very seriously. But in the same vein, reaching a wider audience, on occasion, you do get folks that are looking to snap their fingers and change their life today. And I promise you, nothing in life where you can do that has longevity or is even in your best interest. And so with this moral responsibility, I want to make it known that there's nothing wrong with running this part-time to go full-time. There's nothing wrong with keeping your job an extra 6 months or a year or even 2 years. There's nothing wrong with not burning the boats and going all in. That's okay. Go all in by deciding that you're serious about this and that you're thinking about this in terms of decades. This is a long play for you. But please don't put yourself in a bind. Don't put yourself in a situation where you have to deprive this business or you start making decisions which are not in the business best interest and your best interest. I really think about new businesses as like a little ember, and we're trying to keep that ember alive so it turns into a roaring fire. Eventually a fire gets so big that it can sustain itself. It creates its own weather system. It creates wind and lightning. And at that point, it's got a life of its own. It's that snowball that turned into an avalanche. But people don't understand how difficult it is to build an avalanche. And ultimately, people don't understand how long that takes. There's this really fascinating thing that I've seen both in my own life, inside of Leah, and inside the lives of folks that I'm friends with that are also entrepreneurs. And I call it the 3-year rule, okay? Leading up to your 3-year mark, you're always going to be dissatisfied with where you're at. Never going to feel like you're where you should be. It always feels like you're behind the 8 ball. And that sucks. It's a terrible feeling. I've been there. I know exactly how that feels. I know exactly how it feels. You feel like there's a disconnect with the effort you're putting in or the skills that you have, and the results aren't showing up. That's okay. There's a latency in life. Life is not a perfect direct feedback loop. It takes time for our inputs to turn into the outputs that we receive. That's okay. But the 3-year rule tells us that at the 3-year mark is a very fascinating line in the sand where all of a sudden at the 3rd year, people are farther along than they thought they would ever be. It's the strangest thing. It's like leading up to that, you always feel like you're behind the 8 ball. You wake up one day, 3 years in, and you say, holy shit, how is this my life? It's the craziest thing. And from there, you run into new challenges, but you don't necessarily have the challenge of trying to keep this snowball in momentum. At that point, if you've made it that far, it's got momentum of its own. Now, there's other problems that come with it. Problems are always going to be a constant in your entrepreneurial journey, but you're not in that do or die kind of flight or fight state of trying to get this thing to survive. So please look at your business, whether it's land or anything else, as a toddler. If you've got kids, you would understand how crazy it is to assume that your kids are going to start paying rent. Don't expect that of your business. Treat your business like something that you have to be the parent of and you have to raise. And if it's a good kid, eventually it will come back to you and it will take care in your old age. Very weird analogy, but it will. But have patience and understand that this is a long-term game, and people that play long-term games win long-term big prizes. You want big things in your life? Patience is what's required. Now, I don't want you to be patient with taking action. I want you to have tenacity, and I want you to feel like you've got to grind and you got to move and you got to shake and you got to hustle, but I want you to be patient with the result, and amazing, amazing, amazing things will happen. Well, guys, if you like this video, I think you're probably going to love Leah. Come hop on a strategy call with us, landinvestor.co/apply. We'll talk about stuff like this, but ultimately we'll talk about the playbook that we've created in land, this little sliver of the land business that we play in. And I think you're going to love it.